Snoop Dogg has a new album, people. I'm about to review it, but before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So yes, the album is called Is It a Crime? It has 21 tracks, released on Death Row Records and Gamma Records. Now I'm going to rate it out of 1 to 10. 6 is pretty much an average score. And let's just go track by track, alright? So yeah, the first track was the intro, which was basically just an intro. There was nothing exciting there. Then you got Is It a Crime? And that featured October London. Now this song I liked it. It was alright, you know. I liked Snoop's rapping on this. I think he rapped very well. Because sometimes Snoop raps and it's like you can tell somebody wrote it for him. Because Snoop recently admitted that he does have some writers. I don't think he did it in his earlier career. I think it's more as he's become a international superstar, like Big Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop, OG Snoop. But yeah, they got a Sade and that Marvin Gaye sample. I think it was Sade and Marvin. The production was very nice as well. Overall for this song, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next track, Joy, track number 3. This was one of the songs that had one of a few Biggie Smalls references. I noticed that quite a few times in the album. He referenced Biggie. On this song he said birthdays was the worst days until we sipped gin and juice on that classic Biggie Smalls line from Juicy. But I wasn't feeling this song overall, people. They even had another Biggie Smalls reference later on the song. It was they're trying to stick me for my paper, no Biggie. I'm not too sure what the reference is with this song Joy and Biggie Smalls, but he had a couple Biggie references just in this one song, and he's got more in the album. Yeah, so Joy, I'll put it as a 5 out of 10. Wasn't terrible, but I was not really impressed. Next we got Unsung Heroes. Again, another song that I wasn't really feeling so much. It was kind of like okay. The ending where the production kind of changed and Snoop was saying something in a different way, that made it a bit more interesting, but overall I'll give this song a 5 out of 10 as well. So it wasn't the best start to the album, I'll keep it real. Not many high scores. The next track though was Sophisticated Crippin'. Now this is where it got a lot better. He made his usual 2-part reference. Like everyone who's an OG from that era, that 90s era, seems to make a 2-part reference on every album they make. Nas did it quite a few times in his King Disease albums. But yeah, he made a reference to Tupac, saying he regretted not being able to say goodbye. Because if you don't know, Snoop and Tupac fell out and they never made up before Tupac passed. But I like the line where Snoop mentions Martha Stewart wearing his chain, which immediately when I heard it I thought, that's a bit weird, you're married. But then in the next bar he mentioned his wife, how much he loves his wife, so he cleaned it up quickly. But this was a good song. I liked the Marvin Gaye sample, another soulful kind of track. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. But it could have easily been an 8. It was more like a 7.5. But it was a very good one. One of my favorites on the album. Next track was Can't Wait. This is another track, it was a bit disappointing following the previous track, Sophisticated Crippin'. But it was okay. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I liked the guy that rapped on it. I think his name was Le Russell. I liked his rap. I like that Snoop's rapping with a new generation. I'd never heard of him. So it was I like this feature, but overall I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next track is Can't Get Enough. Now this one was, I'm not gonna lie, not great. It was just, you know what it is? It was just different. Snoop's always trying to push the boat out with, that sexual seduction thing. I mean, it wasn't on that level, but it just wasn't a typical hip-hop beat or typical hip-hop song. So I would give this a 4 out of 10. If you feel that way, let me know. If you don't feel that way, let me know in the comments. Next track was Keep It Moving. Now this song I actually felt like, especially the beginning, I thought this was sick. This was amazing. You know what I mean? The beat was crazy. I love the G-Funk era. I like that kind of production, that George Clinton kind of sound. It's just very West Coast, very 90s hip hop, and I like that kind of sound. Like I said, the beat was mad, real funky, and even way Snoop was rapping on it sounded like old Snoop Dogg. So with the beat sounding so good and then Snoop sounding like Snoop, I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Possibly my favorite song on the album. Probably the best song. Next track, Just the Way It Is. This is another one of my favorites on the album, actually. Very laid back. That's what I like. I like laid back rap. Very chilled. It was featuring Wiz Khalifa, a rapper that I feel doesn't get enough props. You know, Wiz Khalifa is a very underrated rapper. He can really rap really well. I think because he was of his image and maybe the people he used to date as well, you kind of don't think about him as a really good rapper, but he actually is very good. One of the best from his generation. It's very cool, laid back West Coast sound. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. You know, that's pretty good. It's above average. It's just a good song. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely, I would say top 2, top 3 songs of the album. Next track, You Want My All. This again is another song that I think is one of the best songs on the album. Potentially my favorite track, actually. I think it might be my favorite. It's very soulful. It's got like a Earth, Wind and Fire, not a sample, but like they kind of copy one song. I believe they do. The chorus was very good, probably the best chorus of the album. But one thing that made me laugh though is Snoop and another male artist singing, right? And there's one point halfway through the song where they're doing like a call and response when the beat kind of cuts off, and it's like, it feels like Snoop should be saying this to a female singer, and but it's almost like they're saying some freaky deaky stuff. It's weird because it's a man who's singing back to Snoop. I don't know if you don't feel the same way, but yeah, this one I'm gonna give an 8 out of 10. A very strong 8 out of 10. It's solid. It could have been 8.5, maybe 9, but yeah, very good. Probably my favorite song. Next song is called What's Happening. This song again, just okay, just a bit over okay. I would say it's a nice song. The chorus really reminds me of something that 50 Cent would have done back in the day. It's very much a 50 Cent style. But this song, I would give it a 6 out of 10. It was decent. Next we got Shut Your B.A. Up. One of my favorite songs on the album. And this is a direct diss song to Suge Knight. Go check it out, people, if you've not heard it. Dissing Suge Knight. He didn't call his name, but we know who he's talking about. Locked Up, calling him a snitch, snitching on the phone. Sounds a bit like old Snoop. That's probably why I liked it so much. The flow was really good as well. But he was talking about slapping Suge in the face. Now Snoop, you know he ain't gonna do that. Stop it. But yeah, he's accusing Suge of making things up. Obviously Suge's been saying that, or insinuating that Snoop had something to do with Tupac getting his life ended. Like he was involved, like, which is kind of crazy. Obviously Suge is not happy that Snoop has Death Row Records. So this song, I'll put it as an 8 out of 10. Next track, Cold Summer. Definitely the worst song on the album for me. It was, in my opinion, kind of awful. Very annoying as well. I didn't like it at all. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'll give that a 3 out of 10. Next song, Snoop Will Make You Dance. Reminds me of Snoop's Upside Your Head. Who remembers that one from his Dogfather album? Reminds me of that quite a lot. It's got that G-Funk sound again. I really like it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Next song, Life's Journey. Very soulful track, but it didn't really move me. It was kind of just like, alright. So I'll put it maybe a 5 out of 10. Kind of maybe just below average. But I'll give it 5 out of 10. Next is Me and OG Snoop. Now this song was interesting. It had Sexy Red on it, and it just seemed really random, you know. The beat was crazy, very aggressive. I was feeling the beat a lot. The song is decent. It's a decent song, but I just feel like Snoop is a bit too old to be doing one of these ignorant type of songs like this. I feel like Snoop, you're 50 something. You don't need to collaborate and do these type of songs like this. But you know, it was an alright song. But if it wasn't for Snoop being of a certain age, and I hold him on a high level of an MC, I would have given it a higher score. But I would give this song a 5 out of 10. Next, Let Me Love You. Another Earth, Wind and Fire sample. I like the production. Production was cool. It was a nice song. It did feel like Snoop really didn't write this song. It didn't feel like Snoop. But it was okay. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next, we got West Up. One of my favorites on the album. Definitely in my top 5 of this album. I really like the chorus, and the production was really good, the way it changed up. But this is another song with another Biggie reference. Snoop says on this, "Damn right, I like the life I live. I went from negative to positive." Remember, Biggie had that line quite regularly on Juicy. One of my favorite songs on the album, definitely. Next we got My Friend. It's a nice song. It's a sweet song. It's like dedicated to Snoop's loved ones that passed. Snoop lost his mother recently, and one of his cousins, and he lost a few other people in recent times. So it was a nice song, not just because of the message, but it was actually a good song. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Then lastly, we've got track number 21, which was Live Life, which again, a positive message. I think Snoop deliberately wanted to make the last couple tracks a positive, colorful vibe. Another nice song, again with another Biggie reference. It said, "Gotta do it big, sky's the limit." So I like the song. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And that's it. On average for this album, would I recommend it? I mean, it's not as good as his previous album, Missionary, the one he did with Dr. Dre. I think it's not as good, and the album is a bit long. It's almost like he had a whole bunch of songs that didn't make that album, and he just threw them together and put this album out. That's what it feels like. There was no real cohesiveness to the album. I would recommend anyone to try it out because it is Snoop. He does have quality songs on here. The production is very good. Overall, out of 10, I would give it maybe an average 6 though. I wasn't super impressed. Definitely not as good as Missionary, but the production is very good. There's a few good features on here. And again, the highlight for me is also all these Biggie Smalls references. I'm not too sure why he had so many for Biggie. Whether this is a subliminal shot at Suge Knight because him and Suge aren't on good terms, I don't know. But there's a good 4 or 5 references to Biggie Smalls on an album, which I don't think he made any references to other rappers that I recognize. But that's my review of the album, Snoop Dogg's album, Is It a Crime? Let me know in the comments what you think of the album if you've listened to it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bezel. And you can join the membership if you want to see exclusive content on this channel. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.